Hey guys, it's Summer again with Grasshopper Luck, and I wanted to do another card tutorial. So I just figured that it seems like a lot of people really responded quickly to the last card tutorial that I did on the Argyle monogrammed card. So this time I'm going to do another card from the wild card cartridge, and it's called this, I think, the Swoop card. But it should be pretty easy to find it on the cartridge. This is what it looks like. It's kind of got an odd shape. This is the first one that I did, and I like the way it turned out. It probably I will do a little bit differently the next time, but it's a cute little card, a little bit different. Here's the envelope. But like I said, this was the first one that I tried, and it is a little tricky because the cut patterns are a little different, just because it's kind of an odd shaped card. So I'm going to put that aside, and I'm going to get started on showing you how to do it. Put some of these smaller pieces away, and I guess we'll go ahead and just start with the envelope. I have a good friend that is a humongous Auburn fan. I don't know if anybody watching these videos are football people or not, but I have a very good friend that I work with who's a humongous Auburn fan. So I found this really cute white and orange paper, and then I just paired it with blue and white, and I'm going to just send it to her as an encouragement card. Once again, I've said before, I really have been enjoying trying to send people I work with encouragement cards, and just to try to give them a little bit of encouragement. So I'm going to go ahead and put the lining on the card before I score it and see how that works, because this scoring is a little different. Like I said, it's the card is just shaped a little differently. So I'm going to go ahead and put the lining on. Now the scoring or rather the lining on the Cricut wildcard cartridges all also have the score markers, which are very, very helpful. I would not probably be able to score these in the right place if I did not have those markers. So I'm gonna go ahead and try this with the lining on there first, and I'm just gonna just run some tape all through this, and then up here I'm going to grab my glue and just go around this part up here where I've got this little flower. Definitely don't want tape showing through. Now you can I recommend with this card, because of the way that it's laid out, to do a solid color page for the lining of the envelope, and that is just because on the specialty paper, one side is white and the other side is the specialty paper usually, and so unless you have double-sided specialty paper, you're either going to have white showing through on this side of the flower, or you're going to have white as your liner. And so, and I don't particularly like that idea. Now what you can do, like I've done in other cards, is just cut out a little circle and put that backing on the flowered part, and then put the liner over that. And that is what I did with this. I used 2 specialty papers. Sorry, that's my phone. 2 specialty papers, and did a circle on one, and then I'll use the liner for the other. But for this one, I just decided to make it a little bit easier on myself, and I suggest you do that as well. And just go with a basic color. You also would have to worry if you do not have one basic colored paper, the way that you cut this. So like I said, I just really recommend going with one solid colored paper that's same color on both sides. So then I'm just going to line this up the best that I can, and nobody's perfect, but you just try to line it up on one side, and it usually makes it pretty lined up on the other. And then run back over it with your flattening tool, whatever that may be. You want to make extra sure that it's flattened up where the flour and the glue was, and then this is what that outside's going to look like now with the blue flour. So the next thing I'm going to do, and since this has some really weird looking score lines, I'm going to use the cutter instead of my score pad. Now I'm not cutting it, I'm scoring it, but I'm just going to line the two pieces up on here. Just a little somehow easier to do when there's only one line that you can use to score. And then I'm going to score it. And it just makes it just a little easier when the line is not a 100% straight line. So I'm going to do that all the way around these edges. And as you can see, having it have two layers on it really isn't making that big of a difference with the scoring, but like I said, it's a lot easier to score it when there's one line instead of two, or as many as are on the score pad when you're doing crooked score lines. So that's what the scoring looks like, and if you can see that at all, you see that it is not straight. So that made it a lot easier. So I'm just going to go back through and fold and flatten and fold and flatten. Apologize for my phone going off. Next time I will try to silence it before I start one of these tutorials, but I'm sure that you all have phones that go off at inopportune times as well. Okay, so now that I've got those scored, I'm going to go back and just add tape right here, and you just want to do your best to get the tape where it needs to be. I know it's not the easiest thing to do, but just do your best. It doesn't have to be perfect, and if you see a piece, an edge coming up or something where you feel like you needed to add more tape, you can always go back and add it. It definitely won't hurt, but you also need to be careful not to tape where there's not, you don't want to tape the inside together, obviously, because there is going to be a card in there, so it needs to have a pocket. So I'm just taping. I'm going to go back and flatten real quick. And actually, I think I do need to add a little bit of tape right down here. I'm just going to open that up and then retape that and flatten it. And fold this up here where the score line is and flatten it. And I've got my envelope. Simple as that. So I'm going to put this aside and I'm going to start on the card. This super simple. You can go ahead and score it. Once again, I'm just going to grab this because I'm not pretty sure this is a fairly straight line, but just to make it a little simpler, I'm just going to grab this and score it. And so now that that's scored, I'm going to fold it, I'm going to flatten it, and then I'm going to open it back up to